For those who don't know me yet, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jeff Bourgeois, and you will see me on LinkedIn a lot. For what it's worth, I've created what I like to call the game of LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how I play. Now, this is not me telling you what to do on LinkedIn, because to be honest, the one thing that means you can be successful on LinkedIn is to find the one thing that works for you. And yes, if you're a little bit older, you've probably recognized that as a quote from Jack LaLanne's character Curly in an older movie called City Slickers with Billy Crystal. Um, it was the most profound thing I've heard in life, because he says that there's one thing, you grab onto that one thing and you hold on, and that's the secret to success in life. And the problem with that one thing is you have to figure out for yourself what that one thing is. I'm going to show you a few things that I do in hopes that it inspires you, maybe gives you some ideas. This is not a prescriptive, here's how to use LinkedIn. This is simply, here's how I use LinkedIn, and I hope it's useful to you. So, first things first, I am a go-giver. If you don't know what that means, I highly encourage you to either go and read the book, The Go-Giver by Bob Burg and John David Mann, or go and read a summary of the book, because it is all about how I approach the world, and it's about who I like to connect with. What I love about the Go-Giver community is we have a common language, and I can say I want to meet other Go-Givers, and they come to me in abundance. One of the problems a lot of people have here on LinkedIn is they're either trapped in I help everyone, or I can help everyone with everything. So it becomes like that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. The more confusing we are, the harder it is for our people to find us. Now, I have some very clear language in my world. I only work with visionary entrepreneurs. I invite them to be a guest on my podcast. And if we connect and jive, we find ways to collaborate and work together. It's that simple. That is my entire business model. On the back end, I have products and services I offer. But the reality is, for me, I only want to work with people that I know and I like and I trust. So one of the filters for my world is they are go-giver. Another one, I work very well with people who are nonlinear thinkers. Dr. Doug Brackman has given me the term driven to recognize my people. I do very, very well with people who are Colby high quick start. I don't do so well with people who are high fact finders. High fact finders drive me crazy. I drive them crazy. We don't need to work together. It's better for the common good and for peace in our time. All right, so I'm going to share some things I do on LinkedIn so that people who work with me, collaborate with me, understand what I'm doing. Now, I am a big, giant nerd, and I'm nonlinear thinking. So to me, I'd like to thank Microsoft and the original founders of LinkedIn for creating the world's greatest game. I love LinkedIn as a game, and I see it as a game. Now, what I mean, a lot of people show up to LinkedIn and they post nonsense. They put AI slop they got from whatever tool of choice. They post it, and then they sit and wait. And they wait. And then they complain about the algorithm, and they say the algorithm didn't do this, it didn't do that. I'm going to be blunt. I don't care about the algorithm. What I care about is the constant on LinkedIn, and that is humans doing business with humans. So when I care about humans and when I try to connect with humans, I don't have to worry about whatever algorithm changes. I've actually trained the algorithm. I don't care. So when I'm clear and I know who I am and I know who I serve and I know what problem I solve, in my case, I help growing businesses, the ones who want to grow rapidly, build referral systems to attract more of their ideal client. That is based on the pain that they are getting inconsistent referrals. They're not growing fast enough. That's who I serve. Now, a lot of what I do on LinkedIn is a game. I've said that I've also posted separately that I call it LinkedIn theater because a lot of people see what I do, and I get a lot of free advice from the quote unquote LinkedIn experts telling me I'm doing LinkedIn wrong. Now, for the record, I am amused by that, and I'm also saddened a little because a lot of people think one size fits all. This is what I do, therefore you should do it. I build authentic relationships, period. That is my entire LinkedIn strategy. Everything else is theater. I do it to entertain certain people in my universe. I have little nods and Easter eggs to people, but here's what I actually do. So, first things first, I am going to pick on myself and I'm going to show you my profile. So, a couple of tips. I want people to be on my podcast. Therefore, the first thing they see is my podcast. You can judge whether you like the photo, the background. I don't care. The key is people who see this are looking for it. That's unique. Now, I don't get all the volume. I honestly don't care about any of the metrics under the analytics. Sorry, algorithm. What I care about is net lives enriched. Thank you to Fred Reichheld for that term. And I also care about relationships built, started, move forward. So I spend all my time, I don't care about the posts. My posts are just me answering questions for people. Literally, if the one person who needed to see it sees that post, that's what I intended it to do. And that's great. And by the way, I make sure they do see it. So a few things. I have some featured because I am working on a live networking event, a virtual networking event in Nevada. You can see I've got a video on my system for creating referrals. And of course, I've got a link to my podcast. So for anybody, you can see this. Here's my number of followers. Again, I don't track that number. I'm pretty sure last year at this time I had 3,500 and now I have 3,466. So, exponential growth. Nope, we had a decline because I helped people understand if I'm a fit or not. They were able to self-select out. Now, I'm going to get to the posts I've made, but basically here is my experience, yada, yada, yada. But this is the thing I wanted to share with you. The least used and most important tool on all of LinkedIn is the power of relationships and gratitude. So when I want to say thank you to someone, yes, I can send them a direct message, and I do. However, I also make a point of coming here and adding a recommendation on their profile. So if pretend I was going to give myself a recommendation, I come to my profile, I click on plus, and I give recommendation. Now, personally, I believe in giving before asking. So I always give first. I personally have never, ever, ever used ask for a recommendation. I personally think if I have to ask for it, it probably doesn't mean as much. So, little secret, when you give someone a recommendation, and I'll just shout out to Esther here. I gave her a recommendation. If I look in her profile, I've probably given her one in the past. Was not the intention, but the first thing Esther did was reach out and say, "Oh my God, Jeff, I'm sorry I haven't given you one." And she gave me one. So this is about authentic relationships. If you don't know this, Esther and I are good friends. I support her and all she does and vice versa. So it was a no-brainer for me to give her a recommendation. So that's the first thing I do to add value to people. And I learned this through Bob Berg. I've recently learned that it was actually Randy Gage who originally said it. The saying is, you can't outgive the universe. Well, I'm stubborn, and so I wanted to try. And so the more I give, the more comes back to me. And for the record, I'm not naive. I fully expect I cannot actually physically outgive the universe. But what a game. And if I I win by trying, whether I intend to or not. So how do I add value to people? I go to my feed, and every day I will look for people. So, Esther, I'm sorry, I didn't ask her permission, but I'm going to pull this up. What I do is I find the follow. Sometimes it's this button here, sometimes it's in the three dots, and I follow the person. And then for the people that matter most to me, the ones that have supported me and I want to support in return, I click on the little notification bell. It'll default to most relevant. I set it to all. And what that does is in my notifications, everything Esther posts, I get a notification on. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but for me, this works. So when Esther posts something new, I like to do two things. First things first, sometimes if you go to somebody's site, their page, you can see all of their content, all of their activity. So I want to see all of Esther's posts. So this is a post she shared. I've already loved it. Now, here's something I want to share. Most people click the reaction button, scroll to the next, do that, scroll to the next. As far as I'm concerned, that's wasted energy and effort. It's pointless. Yeah, people can see that you liked it. Who cares? What I like to do is I will either leave a meaningful comment, and by the way, no copy and paste AI garbage here. If somebody shared something that resonated with you as a human, share why it resonated with you. It adds value to them, and it helps other people that know them get to know you. Now, if it's a particularly important thing or I'm really impressed with it, I will repost. So you'll see that I do repost. A little caution here, don't be the person who only reposts. I have a few people that they'll repost 10 things a day. They never post anything of theirs. I don't actually get to know them. And so honestly, that effort is wasted. Now, when you click repost, there are two options. One, you can just hit repost. I personally try not to do that unless it's time sensitive. I always repost with my thoughts. Now, again, LinkedIn the game, nobody shared the rules, but here's the thing. If I repost, I also like to tag somebody that I specifically think needed to see this or would benefit from seeing it. What that does for specifics here is it, number one, when I repost with my comments, Esther sees it that Jeff commented or reposted. It builds our relationship, puts a little bit of relationship capital into the account. Now, whoever I've tagged sees it and says, oh, Jeff thought of me. Thank you, Jeff. Adds to our mutual relationship capital. They might then say, wow, I like Esther. I'd like to meet her. And I get to make that introduction. I win by bringing two great people together. Now, the other thing is that repost helps people in my network who might not have ever seen Esther's post see it. And it helps people in Esther's network see what I'm doing. So basically, here's the entire secret to what I do on LinkedIn. And by the way, my business is 100% developed through LinkedIn relationships and my podcast. I build authentic relationships. I express gratitude publicly. And as I said earlier, you can do that in a DM as well. But I never thank somebody privately without also thanking them publicly. That elevates them. It gives everybody a nice little feel-good moment, and it makes me feel good. So I'm not recommending you do all of these things, but think about life for a minute. If you're a business and you've got your 10 favorite clients that you absolutely love, why wouldn't you put a tiny little bit of effort in to promote them on your LinkedIn and connect them with other people? Now, if you have a scarcity mindset, you might think, oh, if I talk about them too much, my competitors will steal them. A little secret for you. If you're the person who brings them out into the light, gives them a little attention, and helps them grow their business, they'll never leave you for something minor like price differences. they'll build a stronger, deeper relationship, and you'll both benefit more. So that's kind of where I'm at. Now, I just wanted to share 2 quick links to videos. They'll both be, events. They'll both be in the below the video. Friday, June 26th, I'm doing 2 separate presentations. One is for business owners who are curious about AI, and I'm going to show you 12 hidden leaks where using generative AI might help you in business. The goal is to educate you so you can understand. And by the way, if you have contacts who've shared an event, another great way to help is to share that event with your network. Now, the second event is my easier to refer system. And here's where I teach people how to build referral systems so they can get steady clients. So I'd love all of you to attend, if one or the other or both. And definitely I'd love it if you could comment, like, or share or repost. Thank you.